Namaskar. In a recent video about GFR, I told about this overpayment recovery related rules. There is a guideline that overpayment should be normally recovered without any fail, of course. But under certain circumstances, it cannot be also recovered. That we are going to discuss now. How the overpayment recovery procedure is done. That is what we are going to see now. Excess payment on account of wrong pay fixation. So people may not fully understand the rule and they make wrong pay fixation, resulting in overpayment. Or grant of pay scale itself without proper approvals, due approvals. Promotions without following the procedure, or payment in excess of entitlements, anything. When it comes to notice, the immediate corrective measures have to be taken. What are those things? First thing is issue a show-cause notice to the employee, informing him of the decision to rectify that earlier order which resulted in overpayment. And also the decision of the government or decision of the competent authority to recover such excess payment which was not due to that employee. Okay. In the show cause notice, the reason for going for recovery, reason, how the overpayment has happened, everything has to be explained in the show cause notice, so that the employee can also represent his case in case of any grievance from the employee side. Once representation is received, there should be a speaking order issued. What is speaking order? That will consider all aspects and address every aspect of the case and answer every aspect. It is something like self-speaking. So whatever the background, whatever the contents of the employee, everything has to be addressed. So that is what is called speaking order. And then recovery has to be made based on that. Okay, there are certain cases you can easily identify the overpayment has been made due to fraud, misrepresentation, collusion between the employee and the paying person also, that is sanctioning authority also. So, favoritism by the sanctioning authority. Negligence, this normally happens. Carelessness, almost both are same only. In such cases, roles of both the person who is responsible for result making overpayment under and the person who received, who was in collusion with the paying authority. Other cases, of course, employee may not be issued any notice for disciplinary action, but other than collusion, all other cases, employee, the person who is responsible for such overpayment should be proceeded against departmentally and wherever required, criminal case also. If it is a major fraud and other things, criminal case also should be filed. Okay. Now recovery can be made in installment. Normally, if the employee may face hardship, if the recovery is to be made in one lump installment, it can be made appropriate number of installments with the approval of Secretary of the Department and also concurrence of the Financial Advisor of the Ministry. There is in consultation with the Financial Advisor. And there are certain exceptions where overpayment cannot be recovered. That we are going to see in the next part. Supreme Court has considered such cases and they came up with an order which has become a law. Any order issued by Supreme Court becomes law automatically until the Parliament enacts new law taking into account the decision of the Supreme Court. Either way, even there are cases where government has enacted law, that is Parliament, which has nullified the effect of Supreme Court order. As long as the law is not declared as null and void by Supreme Court, that will have effect. Otherwise, all the Supreme Court orders become law. That law address this overpayment issue. The Supreme Court has observed that they told very clearly that it is not possible to postulate all the situations of hardship to employees on the issue of recovery. See, there may be hundreds of new cases, new scenarios. So you cannot say everything in the order. That is why they say it is not simply possible. But where the payment has been mistakenly made, okay, there are certain cases where the payments have been mistakenly made, recovery cannot be made. What are those cases? Supreme Court has said these are all impermissible in law. As per law, you can't do. What are those things? Recovery from employees belonging to Group C and Group D. Nowadays, Group D is not there. There may be a case where a person could not be upgraded. Otherwise, Group C only. So, any overpayment made to Group C or Group D cannot be recovered, number one. Number two, recovery from retired employees or employees who are due to retire within 1 year of that order of recovery, you can't make it. So it has to be noticed at least more than 1 year before the retirement of the employee. Recovery from employees when the excess payment has been made for more than 5 years before the order of the recovery is issued. So this is again for Group C, D only. It cannot be for other senior Group A people and all, Group AB. And recovery in cases when an employee has wrongfully been required to discharge duties of higher post and has been paid accordingly, even though he should have rightfully been required to work against a lower post. So some person is given higher responsibility and he was given higher scale also, which is wrong, which has turned out to be wrong later on. Such cases also, recovery cannot be made. Other cases where court has ordered not to recover. In all such cases, waiver of recovery can be done only with approval of Ministry of Finance, and for that department has to send a separate self-contained note indicating what is the reason behind all those things. Is there any rule issue which requires amendment in the rule, any vagueness, that is clarity is lacking, something like that. Such cases we can bring it to the notice of Ministry of Finance, who will issue amendment. And all the cases of stoppage of recovery, that is waiver of recovery, you allow the overpayment. Future you won't pay, but past cases whatever you have paid should be recovered if under these conditions. If the recovery is planned to be stopped, of course we have to write to Ministry of Finance, and with their approval it can be done. This is the special rule for exemption granted to lower grade people who are likely to retire within, that is who are retiring and superannuation within 1 year, and court cases. With this, we complete the special guidelines on recovery of overpayment and also waiver of recovery. Thank you.